Hi, it's me, Gitte Larsen again. So today we are continuing in the financing subject, where we are talking about the company's possibility to finance and to raise capital for their planned investments. And we are looking further into the external financing options that the company has. And in the previous video, talking about annuity loan, I mentioned that you have three types of loan that you need to be able to reckon in this semester. And it was annuity loan, bullet loan, and serial loan. And this video is about the bullet loan. All right, so we always talk about what characterizes these types of loan. And when we talk about bullet loans, the characteristic is that throughout the whole duration time, we only pay interest of the full principal, so the full amount of money that the company has taken for a loan. That means that we do not have any installments in the duration time until the very last payment date, where we pay, of course, the interest for the previous period, but also the full amount, the full principal, we pay it back, meaning that the outstanding debt profile would look like this. In the beginning, or in the start, throughout the whole duration time, there is no installments. You do not repay anything of the loan, but at the very last payment date term, you would pay back the full principal plus the amount that would be the interest for the last period. And the servicing profile, or the profile throughout the duration time, will then look like this, that you pay only the interest. It's not a very rare way of lending money, also for private people, to lend money like this for 10 years, and then after the 10 years to start to make an agreement with the bank how to then pay back the principal over the next 20 or 30 years or so. So characteristics is that the principal is paid back at the end of the duration. Meanwhile, you only pay the interest, no installments. So like in the previous video, we will go to Excel. We will work on the exact same example that I made for the annuity video. So please open Excel. And here you see it's the exact same example as we did together in the annuity. Make sure that you press pause and that you have copied and recreated this part of the total sheet. Remembering that the principal was the 18 million, the costs, the borrowing cost in this loan was 200,000, just a fixed amount. We talked about what this fixed amount could all be part of. And meaning subtract these two and you will have the proceeds, the amount the company receives. So the interest would be 6% per year, and we pay off in 10 years, over 10 years, with quarterly payments, meaning we pay 4 times a year, meaning we have 40 payments to do, 40 payments date in the duration time. This also means that we pay only quarterly interest. So we take the yearly interest and divide it into 4 to get the quarterly interest. So far, so good. So just like in the previous videos, I like to divide my calculations into steps. It makes it more easy. The important thing is to remember what is the fixed what is it that characterizes the loan. And in this case, it characterizes the loan that we pay interest throughout the total or the whole duration time. So calculate the fixed variable, always step 1. And let me scroll a little down here. So the quarterly payments that we need to make sure we have liquidity for is the quarterly interest multiplied with the principal. Always pay from the full principal all the time, meaning that the company needs to be able to generate 270,000 in this case. And then always, not always, but in annuity loan and bullet loan, there are only 2 steps you need to consider. Step number 2, calculate the actual interest. Find the annual percentage rate. So calculate the actual interest, and in this case, the actual interest here would be quarterly. So you use the function called rate. Go up and find your financial function called rate. Now the function will ask you for a few informations. Number of payments, 40, we have calculated. Remember to use data, don't write numbers. Now the payment that we need to make every 40 payment times or payment dates. That would be the 270,000. Now put a little minus in front, use the logic that this is a payment that the company needs to make. The present value of this, let me just scroll a little up, would be the 17,800,000. And the future value of this would be the 18 million. Put a little minus in front of the 18 million. Remember here the company needs to pay back the full amount, so we consider that a negative number, a negative payment for the company. All right, press enter, and if Excel did not put it into a percentage or use the icon up here, put it into percentage and add a few decimals so you can see that there is a difference. Now in this case, this is a quarterly actual or effective rate, interest rate. And we want to find out the annual percentage rate, the annual effective rate, or the annual actual cost that we have linked to this. Therefore, we need to take it 4 times forward in time. Now, if this would have been half yearly, we would take it 2 periods forward in time. If it would have been monthly, then it would have been 12 times. If the case would have been that this is yearly, then this result would have been the annual percentage rate. We've talked about it in class. Make sure you understand. In this case, it is quarterly, therefore we say 1 plus the actual interest rate quarterly that I just calculated. I take it 4 times forward in time to make it yearly. We have 4 quarters in a year. And I want to isolate the interest, therefore I subtract the number 1 again. Enter. If Excel did not put it into percentage, again, put it into percentage and add a few decimals, 2 or 3, you decide. So here you can see it says the interest is 6%, but the actual price of this, if we calculate it, would be 6.293%. One of the evaluation criteria that we want to evaluate at the end of the last video. All right, so this was calculating the annual percentage rate for a bullet loan, characterized in the way that you only pay interest in the whole duration time and pay off the full principal at the very last term, the very last payment date, and of course the interest for the last period. See you in the next video where I will talk about serial loan and how to calculate the annual percentage rate in such a loan.